plumbing, electrical, and HVAC. If you'll stay till the end, I'm going to tell you some other trades and skills that you can add that will help you make a lot more money. Guys, this video is sponsored by Ferguson. Now, we teamed up with Ferguson and have for many years because of the great things they do for plumbers, plumbing companies, the owners, and the communities that we live in. Not just plumbers, but believe it or not, talking dual trades, also HVAC technicians. So if you need a supply house that will get you everything you need, check out Ferguson.com. So number one, plumbing. If you're in plumbing, it would be very easy to become a pipe fitter. Plumbing and pipe fitting in a lot of the unions are actually trained together, meaning they're a combi local. Plumbing and pipe fitting, for the first couple of years, you're taught the exact same things. Now, I'm a plumber. My son became a pipe fitter because he liked working with the bigger pipe. He wanted to work with the big carbon steel. So after his second year, he went through pipe fitting instead of plumbing. Now, plumbing to me is probably a more opportunistic job, meaning if you're a plumber, you can do commercial, residential, service, new construction, and some parts of the country, you can be union or non-union. Pipe fitting is just a little bit different. Now, plumbing, we all know, everybody's got it in every house, every building that they go in, unless you're still using an outhouse. But pipe fitting is a little bit different. Pipe fitting is the big carbon steel pipe that actually moves chilled water, heating water, condenser water, anything at all like that. Now, don't get me wrong, it's still important, but mainly you find those on commercial jobs, maybe large residential communities. Anywhere where you see the cooling towers on top of a building, normally that kind of pipe is ran by pipe fitters. Now, pipe fitters, man, they got some cool stuff. They've got big tools to move this pipe around. They've got special dollies and lifts and things like that. So it's a lot different, but at the end of the day, if you're a plumber, it would be pretty easy to learn to be a pipe fitter. You're still, if you're good at laying out pipe as a plumber, you're good at laying out pipe as a pipe fitter. And I know because being in the union, I did that sometimes. Being a plumber and moving up as a superintendent, you had to learn to work with the pipe fitters, with the welders, with the electricians, with the HVAC techs. All these different trades you had to learn to work with, but pipe fitting, if you're a plumber, would be another trade that you could roll over into. Now, why is this good for you? If you're a plumber and you're at a bigger company and they also do pipe fitting, it might give you an opportunity to come in on the weekends and overtime to pick up some more hours, or towards the end of the job where it's time to lay people off. It's kind of nice to have somebody that can do multiple things. So learning another trade can be very beneficial for you there. Number two, HVAC and electrical. If you're an HVAC technician, you already understand quite a bit about electrical. As a residential HVAC tech, I would say 85 to 90% of problems with home air conditioning systems are actually electrical problems. Now, I'm a certified HVAC technician too, so I'm a plumber and HVAC tech. Now, I've got the license, but I really don't know much about it because I never did it a lot in the field. I always thought that I would, and that's why I got the licenses that I did. But if you're an HVAC tech, especially a residential, you already understand quite a bit about electrical, both high voltage and low voltage. Now, it's not super high voltage, don't get me wrong, but you understand the flow path of electricity. Therefore, it would probably be pretty easy for you to go get your electrical license. Now, this is where I have a question. Here in Texas, it takes so many hours to get your HVAC certification, so many hours to get your electrical license. I think if you've already got one or the other, it really ought to be pretty easy to get the other one, especially in those two trades because they are so closely related and because it's the same licensing board overseeing each one, so they already know what kind of hours you have. Now, if you're an electrician, learning HVAC should not be a big problem. You're going to have to learn refrigerants and boiling points and things like that, and safety working around this equipment. 85 to 90% of the problems with residential HVAC systems are normally electrical problems. If you're HVAC, you understand a lot about electricity already. If you're electrical, well, you understand a lot more about HVAC than you probably even know. Number 3, and this is a good one, refrigeration and electrical. Now, those are two that can go together. Refrigeration, it could also fall into the plumbing, pipe fitting, or even just the HVAC, because really that's what refrigeration is, just with different gases. And the refrigeration is more of a bigger type system. If you're a refrigeration person and you can learn electrical, all the electronics to hook up this equipment, this is another good thing to learn. Now, in refrigeration people make good money, especially if you do some of these specialty gases. I've heard of crews that actually just travel around the country doing certain type refrigeration jobs. They'll work for a week, they'll take off 2 or 3 weeks. Work for a week, take off 2 or 3. Maybe work for a couple of weeks and take off 5 or 6. Anyway, some people, they've got that skill set and they can get in, they understand the refrigerants, the line sets, how to do them and everything about it. Those are good trades. Now, when you can get a job like that, while you're at home, if you can learn electrical and get your electrician's license, depending on where you're at in the country, that could be something that could either allow you stuff to do on those days when you're off, so now you can bank money, or then you hit these out-of-town jobs whenever they become available, so you can go, again, bank money for a while. So we've talked about some different trades that go together, plumbing and pipe fitting, HVAC and electrical, and then refrigeration and electrical. Now, I'm going to talk about some other things that you can actually add to a lot of these skill sets that you can add to these trades to help you make more money in each one. Number 1, if you're a plumber, learn leak location, learn leak detection, learn slab leak detection, learn how to listen and find leaks under the slab, how to locate them, and then everything you need to do in order to repair them. Also, if you're a plumber, whole house water filtration systems. You can become the water expert in your area. That's going to add dollars straight to your bottom line. Another one you can learn as a plumber that's really good, learn to set tile. This is something I've never done. But as a residential service plumber, when you come in and replace a shower pan or do a complete remodel on a shower, I always look at it and think, man, I wish I knew how to do tile, because here's what I would do. And me having a home, I wish I knew how to do that, because I would love to remodel mine. Next, if you're a pipe fitter, learn to weld. Now, a lot of pipe fitters already know how to weld, they just don't like to do it. Learning how to weld can set you apart from every other pipe fitter there. And like they say, he who owns the welders owns the work. Welders are required on every big job that has big carbon steel pipe. Now, I'm just talking about pipe welding. There's also structural welding. There's a lot of different types of welding that you can do. But if you're a pipe fitter, learning how to weld could definitely be a feather in your hat. Now, if you're an HVAC technician, a thing to get really good at and specialize is indoor air quality, IAQ. If you know how to come in and test people's air, give them a third-party report that tells them, look, you've got contaminants in your air that really shouldn't be there. By the way, we have a filtration system or an air purifier system that will take care of these. Guys, what a great way to add to your revenue and go above and beyond to help your customers. Then if you're an electrician, solar power. Think about that. What if you knew how to install the panels on the roof, the inverters, everything involved with that? That is something that could literally lead to an entirely new business. And if you're the electrician, the licensed electrician that goes out in the house every day, and you can learn all this, guys, the companies that you work for should be paying you a lot more money to get out and sell those products and install them under their umbrella. Now remember, this video is sponsored by Ferguson. We teamed up with Ferguson that actually sells products for dual trades, both plumbing and HVAC. If you want to get your supplies from a company that takes care of you, that's why we teamed up with Ferguson. Matter of fact, there's a lot of this stuff here I can go to Ferguson and get. Check it out, ferguson.com. And if you haven't done it, join their Facebook group. Guys, thank you so much. If you love this video, you're definitely going to love this one.